Hi, guys. Welcome back to Nichful Thinking. My name is Nichelle, Ohshells on all social media, and this is a podcast all about what I be thinking. Happy Wednesday, or whenever you're listening to this episode. I want to do a quick check in and really just get it like this. Honestly, this episode is going to give like wake up that dog in you. Okay. I wrote something recently. I'm a writer downer, and I want to read it for you all. So, I wrote, at this point, I didn't come this far to come this far. I'm going to get rich or die trying. I'm going to get free or die trying. I'm going to know me or die trying. I'm a tortoise. I have stamina to be in this thing. I'm in it for the love of the game, the love of the journey. I used to hear people talk about that, but they be like, yeah, like I'm here for the journey. Baby, I was like, I just want to feel joy. That was where she started. Being where she's at now, me, she, her, I'm in it for the journey. You'll hear me speak about Goldilocks, right? And you can either Goldilocks your stagnation, or you can make a conscious decision of Goldilocks your elevation. And so I wanted to create this episode around the idea that you did not come this far to come this far. Straight up. It don't work like that. You're either moving backwards, which feels like betrayal to yourself. You're staying stagnant, which feels like you are dying a slow death, or you're moving forward, which can feel a little scary until it's not. Until it's not. There was a version of you that couldn't take a step. Now you walk and you take it for granted. You don't even think about the time when you was like, whoa, when things was topsy-turvy. Let it be a little topsy-turvy. Goldilocks it. I'm at this point, it is what it is. Like at this point, you do what you do. You are what you do most of the time. And I really had to internalize that lesson, understand that framework, really bake it in. I'm someone who's like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it. Straight up. And if I have to do it, quote, end quote, right? Because we got to pay these bills. We got to make sure we got health insurance. We got to make sure we got certain things. There'll be seasons where you like, I don't got it. And so all of a sudden, some way, somehow, it's going to work out. So with that knowing, right, we talk about what I think a lot because that's where it starts. Like Nichful Thinking is all about the start of the evolution, whatever that topic for the episode may be. And for this one, it's like, I know. Yeah, this is one of those Nichful knowings, okay? I know that I know that I know that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, and if you you're going to get to a point, let's say it like that. You're going to get to a point where enough is enough. You're going to get to a point where I want and I wish and that would be nice, and well, they said and they had it, and maybe someday you're going to get to a point where that is like, no, I'm not even about to play myself like that no more. I'm not playing myself. Do not play yourself. Goldilocks it, right? Maybe you don't need to be doing sprints. Maybe all of them, that walking you've been doing, all that walking, maybe you can hit one of these, a light little jog. Okay, maybe you could start Goldilocks in a different pace. Maybe you could pause for a second and understand how your body felt after pushing it a little bit. You got to teach yourself that you're able to do hard things. You have to know what your medium is. You got to know how to Goldilocks it, because without the pause, without the planted, without the roots being able to really get deep, you're gonna stay in I don't know land, and you're gonna keep wishing on a star and wanting to believe whole time you are the star and you are the thing to believe in. Hello. Wake that dog up in you. You need to get low. What does that mean? Because I say this in a few other episodes where I'm like, get low, get low. Let me wait for this truck to do his thing. What I say when I say get low, I mean get juiced up on your own energy. And it's kind of like when you go to sleep, like you kind of, when they say, oh, fake it till you make it, it's like when you go to sleep, when you act like you're going to sleep before you go to sleep. You need to practice being by yourself, and not because it's cutesy and the girl on the internet said it, but because it's imperative. Two things are always happening at once, and your job is to find the middle ground. Goldilocks it. Solitude is great. Community is great. It's healthy to know where your thoughts begin and where their thoughts begin. It's healthy to know when you have reached where you have reached your personal barrier, and when somebody else may have more capacity for X, Y, and Z. You have to know when you have more capacity for X, Y, and Z, and when they do not. You go fast in certain seasons, you need to be in solitude and do self work. You go far in certain seasons, you need to get around community and just be in the room. See, that's why I like going to church, because not necessarily the feeling of like I have to go because I have to have someone tell me like how do I get to the me and me, and how do I get to the God in me, and how do I connect with our Lord and Savior. Like, we're not going to the Pope to get connected. Like, we don't need to do that. Some people do, right? And so my goal, with especially with this and with anything that I put out there, is to have the compassion to understand that there are some people. Ooh. Let me pause. I have a few things dropping into my mind right now, and I want to be sure that I'm speaking on the correct, on the thing that I need to be speaking on right now. Give me a second. Okay, there's another thing that I wrote down that I want to read off to you guys. So thank God for the restarts. Each restart marks another zero in your salvation bank. That's just how that goes. Observe your money grow. Internal cash. I went from staffing recruiter in the world, passionate about getting people paid, to doing the same thing internally for me and others. I have an episode that I posted recently kind of walking through my entire career in HR, and as a staffing recruiter, my problem, quote unquote, for the audio listeners, was that I wasn't seeing companies as my client. And that's what you needed, that viewpoint as a full desk recruiter, right? So I would recruit people and I would be selling resumes. I'm selling workers. That's the idea of a staffing firm. But for me, I always thought to myself, like, I'm not good at selling, because I rather be with the candidate. I rather speak to the person that's looking to get paid. I rather, like, my viewpoint was in the staffing world was seen as more like backwards. Like, the client wasn't as important. And I come to realize, like, my problem is actually my purpose. The quote unquote problem was actually my purpose. Even when I say certain words, like, people in my life will giggle or laugh, because I will literally like switch letters and switch numbers. What's that called? When you switch around numbers and letters. Anyway, my thoughts sometimes are like that as well. Like, even if you listen to Nichful Thinking from this more recent video and then work your way down to the first episode, it probably will tell a story that, if you flipped it on its head, could be the beginning. Like, most of the people in the firm is working on getting clients. That's where the margin is at. That's where the money is at. And you have people that will be able to recruit for you and fill the jobs. You want to be the owner of a job. You know what I mean? But for me, it was like, I want to get people paid, and thinking about it, if you did listen to that episode or watch that episode, I talked about like how from that job, it catapulted me into like the tech world and being more of an internal recruiter. And I think that's so poetic, because not only did my life map up to that same, it's poetic because my life mapped up to that same concept. Because once I got into an internal recruiting opportunity, it was like the start of Nichelle internally working on herself. And so I'm in a place now where I work on the employee experience team, and I'm in HR. I'm no longer in the recruiting world, if you will, or talent world. And that is lining up to the way that I live my life. My day-to-day experiences is what is important to me. The day-to-day experience of designing who this girl that you see and hear is more important to me. And I'm actively restarting a new life by getting people paid internally. Like, the DMs I just know intuitively people understand. The ones who are supposed to receive the messages and the episodes that I put out there, the content that I put out there, they receive it. And not only do they receive it, but it literally is like medicine. There are people that are depending on you in that way. There are people that you haven't met yet that need you in that way. And so where I started my career here on earth, where I'm like, I'm a staff recruiter child, I just want to collect as many friends and candidates and energy as possible. I want to speak life into people. I want to zhuzh up your resume. Let's talk about what gaps you may be experiencing, and boom, let's get you in the market. Let's get you paid. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel right now. Like Nichful Thinking is very much so giving naturally recruiting like-minded individuals and speaking about the gaps in the resumes that I come across and reissuing, like, go into the market, go forth. Okay, let's get paid. We need to build up the joy bank. We need to build up the fun bank. We need to build up the experience. You're a walking experience. You just haven't seen you yet. Wake that dog up, because it's imperative, not for you, but because of the things that God has for you that are bigger than you. That took me a little minute to get out, but no, that took me a little minute to get out, and I'm glad I took my time with that. Right now, I am working on patience. I am working on allowing myself to complete a thought and allow the trust that I have in my intelligence and in my wisdom to speak out the message that I'm looking to get out. So hopefully you felt a little bit of that work happening right in front of your face, or in your earbuds, or on your screen, or in your speaker, for real. Yeah. All right. I think, you know what? That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all today. I feel really good about this episode. I needed to get that energy out and articulate what getting rich or die trying means to me. It's an inside out job. You know what I mean? It's an inside out job. It's very feminine. It's very feminine. Like I told you, I never wanted to do anything that I did not want to do. And I wanted to do a lot, and I wanted to do big things. However, I needed to do me first. And I needed to get high on my own supply first. And I am a type of person that needs to give from the overflow. So welcome to the overflow. Welcome to the place where I overflow. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching, hey Muffin. Make sure you follow me, your host, at Ohshells, Ohshells. Also follow us at Nichful Thinking. That's where I post most of my clips and little bites. So if you're like, maybe I need an episode, maybe I don't, but I definitely need a daily dose of a Nichful Thinking moment, follow us. TikTok, Instagram is what I'm hyper focusing on when it comes to those clips. I'm also on YouTube. So if you're watching, you already know that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. Sharing is literally caring. When you receive a message, or when you see something, just like when you get, I'm in Dallas, right? So if I see like top Italian spots in Dallas, I'm going to send it over to my friend that like Italian food, right? Do the same thing here. When you are listening to something that I'm saying and you feel like, ooh, that hit on any platform, send it to somebody. Do it help me? Yeah, but help me help you, entertain you, and feed you with more energy. Okay? Okay. Love you, mean it. Be good to people, all right? Bye.